Well, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, and welcome back to the home of rugby here at Rugby School. We've got a real treat for you here live with Next Gen. It is the oldest schoolboy rugby game in existence. That's right, the very first inter-school game of rugby, Cheltenham College against the school which gives its name to the sport. Well, frost may have taken over most of the Midlands, but Old Big Side stands firm against the weather as Cheltenham College enter the field. A really exciting game of rugby for you here, with the hosts on a decent bit of form going into one of our final streams of the year so far in this famous Bicentenary year. 200 years since the beginning of rugby. Well, we'll run you through the lineups for this afternoon as well. Starting, of course, with the hosts. As the fog descends onto the pitch, it's Matt Brown starting in the front row with the captain Robert Gaffan, the England under-18, back from a week of international duty. James Canvin moves up to front row, having deputised at lock throughout the season, with Sam Bird and Pietro Cecchinato having completed the back row, moves into lock. Adam Biriani, who worked his way into the team right at the beginning of the season, starts with the ever-present Jack Brown, whose father has flown over from Singapore to watch him live for the first time this season. Edward McLean starts at number 8 from the Northampton State, in for Jake Roberts, who returns from injury but returns to an England camp instead. Oscar Tevitt starts at fly half, back from a long injury, with Harry Gallagher having deputised well in his absence. Jordan Stryden, the South African, in at fly half. Marcus Law and the ever-present Harry Tanner on the wings, with the strongest centre partnership, the two vice-captains of Rufus Pearson, Nathaniel Kayada at 13 and 12. Alfie Mitchell at fullback. Well, it's one of the strongest lineups that rugby can put together. Missing a few names, of course, the likes of Dahiru Wada, Oscar Talbot and Luke Travis-Shande, Will Hoskins and Leo Robinson all out. But it is a hefty lineup to take on this Cheltenham College side, led by fly half and Gloucester man Tom Unsworth, moving from 12 to 10. And it will be Cheltenham College who get us underway. And in goes TJ Fanalua, flying in, the captain at number 8. And Cecchinato with the first carry. Great yardage as well. Some serious physicality in this rugby pack. Stryden, a fly half of physical stature in his own right. Well, it's right over the head of Barney Cooper, the fly half, back from injury. And it's the key man, Unsworth, has to scramble back, but all the way to the 5 metre. The white shirts have pushed back Cheltenham College. Brown with the tackle, but a lot of work then for Cheltenham, who are on the back of a positive season, having won 5 and lost 3 of their 8 games. Unkind bounce for Stryden, so the ball will fly harmlessly into touch, but a great start for rugby, piling on the pressure, exiting well from inside their own half. And Gaffan has the first line out of the day. Well, we've got one change from the team sheet that I have in my hand here. It's Hugh Salveson, in fact, who's starting in the front row as a loose line out. Back goes Tevitt to gather Stryden, and Viriani, in his standard role of crashing up off first receiver, goes crashing into TJ Fanalua, whose name will be heard often in this game. But there's a penalty, offside the call, and rugby look keen to get us underway. Rufus Pearce with a tap, looking to take on Cheltenham College early in this first half. Bird breaking through contact once again. There's a loose pass, but backwards it went, and Canvin carries over the gain line. Lovely pick-up by the front row. Stryden this time looks to hook it over the top, but Cooper's there. And it's another penalty, this time for rugby. A perfect start for the men in white. A great story that led to this first game being played, the first interplay between schools of rugby that we know of. It was the Acton brothers who left to Cheltenham College in search of stronger Christian morals, the story goes, and they brought the game along with them and eventually organised the very first fixture of schoolboy rugby. How far we've come to be live here with Next Gen at the home of the sport. Well, it's no warmer up here in the commentary box as it is down on field, but the pitch has held up excellently well with cancellations across the country in the freezing weather. Chipped into the corner. A crucial line out then for rugby. Up goes Bird. And the maul is forward and Gaffan gathers at the tail. Good defence from Cheltenham College, but there's a second shove on from rugby. Bit of a turn on there. It's Luke Kent in the second row for Cheltenham College, looking to disrupt. Still rolling on. Go rugby. Edging ever closer to the line. They look set to keep it on here. Cheltenham College with the counter. But the ball is still in. Calls from the back line to free up possession, and the ball will come for rugby. There's the counter ruck, looking to disrupt, but Viriani instead takes contact. Fanalua with another huge tackle. Counter ruck from Cheltenham College, but it's regathered by the forwards. Frantic defending from the red and black. Well, it was fumbled at first receiver, but kept alive. So many numbers lined up in the backs for rugby. This time they use them. Kayada at first receiver looks to put Pearce through the hole. Offloads to Kayada, but the ball goes down. And it'll be a knock on, and Cheltenham College have escaped the early onslaught from the host side. Well, it was a tough start to the season for rugby, of course, but they've now racked up 3 wins following results against Uppingham and Marlborough in more recent weeks. A 1-point loss to Warwick, of course. A crucial game. Just didn't go their way. Cheltenham College, on the other hand, have some big wins against the likes of Monmouth and Millfield, highlighted as their best results of the season so far, and of course a bowl final appearance at the St Joseph's College Rugby Festival as well, that was brought to you live on Next Gen, as Fanalua picks from the back of the scrum and Cheltenham College desperate for an exit. Unsworth searches for touch and just about finds it, only on the 22. Cheltenham College certainly not out of the woods. I'll bring you the rest of that Cheltenham College lineup while we have a break in play at this frantic start. Ethan Jones of Gloucester and Finn Tweedy, who scored at Kingsholm in that tantalising local derby against Tommies in recent weeks, along with Zach Hickman, make up the front row. Luke Kent and Josh Hanson in second row. Ed Critchley and Fred Barter in last minute for Wilf Thomas, who's out with an illness, unfortunately, in the back row, with, of course, the talisman, the captain, the Gloucester number 8, TJ Fanalua. Ben Connor and Tom Unsworth at 9 and 10, with Richards and Charlie Hatton on the wings, as Canvin takes a hard line off of that line out. Through the forwards, rugby go once more, as Hitchcock Smith and Daunter in the centres for Cheltenham College, ready to do some defending, but instead it's a penalty gone the other way, in from the side at the breakdown, will relieve some pressure finally for Cheltenham. Line out then for Cheltenham College, and Unsworth with a great take at first receiver, pops it off to Fanalua over the gain line. Goes Gloucester's number 8 and their captain. Through the forwards again. Critchley stopped at the gain line by rugby once more. Still Unsworth trying to clear Cheltenham College out of their own half, and they have gotten a touch of fortune there. Jordan Stryden puts it down on the 10. And Cheltenham College have won that territory. for the moment at least. Well, Unsworth had a couple of stabs at it, but finally manages to clear the ball upfield, and Cheltenham College, for the first time in this game, will play with ball in hand inside the opposition's half. Now Rugby will be really feeling that missed opportunity down on the 5 metre line of Cheltenham College, especially if Unsworth can create something special here as well. And there's a big hole in the Cheltenham College centres, unfortunately. David Gamble of Gloucester, the outside centre, unavailable for this game. Tebbett put some pressure on Connor, but Unsworth has it. Going in and out and flicking past defenders as well. But it's a penalty. Crossing is the call this time, and what looked like a cleverly executed move for Cheltenham College has ended up costing them. It's a turnover instead. Well, it was a tough call, really. Jordan Strider might have gotten away from one there. His opposite man skipped past him, but instead he'll have the opportunity to hammer Rugby upfield, and it's an excellent kick into that foggy right-hand side of Cheltenham College's half. Well, it looked like a bit of creativity, really. The crossing comes there as the dummy runner, Ben Connor, putting the shoulder in on a potential tackler. Penalty Rugby, and we're back where we started, really, just 5 minutes ago. Rugby with another line out in a threatening position. Still we're level here, though. Celebrating the 200th year of the sport with the oldest game in schoolboy rugby history. And Stridham at first receiver, searches for Viriani, but it's been knocked on, and it's yet another missed opportunity for the hosts. Well, with the frost covering the grass this morning, it'll be a greasy pill for Rugby to keep hold of and put down there. Individual errors just costing the hosts at the moment as they look to get a foothold in this game. Two sides with a similar season so far, really. Some difficult games in the fixtures list. Some really impressive wins overall against the likes of Marlborough, Monmouth and Millfield, as we've stated. And, well, Cheltenham College just haven't got going. It's been spilled on that far side, and once again, Rugby have an opportunity that doesn't happen to be of their own making, one could say. Scrum then in the midfield, just inside Cheltenham College's half. Still level here. A nervous start, really, by the away side. They've had arguably the more impressive of the two seasons. And the previous fixtures as well between these two sides, it was a win for Rugby last year, and in fact of the last 10, Rugby have won 6, including a run of 4 in a row. 2 draws in the last 10 fixtures as well. But the story of last season, the current lower sixth, last year's under-16s, beat Rugby by a large scoreline, 24-5, so plenty of young blood in this Cheltenham College side, and it's been spilt off first receiver for the 3rd time in a row. Well, we've seen some just stunning rugby on this famous old pitch so far this season. We're still waiting, perhaps, for the cogs to turn for both these sides as they're unable to string together enough phases to really threaten. We saw great work with the boot from Jordan Stridham to put Cheltenham College under pressure in that opening 5 minutes, but since then, well, free kick for Cheltenham College. Early engagement at the scrum, a simple enough call. TJ Van Leeuwen will consult with the referee. Well, it's another scrum. Cheltenham College fancying their chances in the front row. Difficult to draw blood out of the stone that is scrummaging at the under-18 level. But Ethan Jones at loose head and of Gloucester will try and work some magic. James Camvin, though, a really physical presence opposite him. Connor with the feed. Finds Unsworth. Simple hands this time, and that is a forward pass not given. So Cooper will continue to play. Good footwork on his return from injury. Over the gain line goes Cheltenham College, but over the ball goes Jack Brown. Connor comes away with it. Through the forwards yet again. Once again at the breakdown, looking to turn it over. McLean penalised. Hands on the floor, unfortunately. Edwin McLean and the Northampton Saints. One of the younger players in this rugby side, with big shoes to fill. Jake Roberts, newly capped England boots. Those are. Well, a nervous start. The story perhaps told best in the decision here to go for the posts so early on. Daunter at inside centre. Will have the opportunity to open the scoring in this game with so much history. As almost every game that Rugby School happens to play. Tends to be the case when you are the inventor of a sport so loved. Daunter. It's a great strike, and it's clean and true, and Cheltenham College perhaps against the run of play, although the game has been reasonably even to this point, have taken the lead. They lead by 3 following Ed Daunter's penalty conversion. Well, it was from the restart that Jordan Stridham managed to pin back Cheltenham College. This time, he'll be teeing off for the men in white. Stridham hangs it up into the fog. There's a bit of a miscommunication there, and Hugh Salveson goes thundering onto the ball, gets the offload away. Rufus Pearce will score for Rugby. Cheltenham College at 6s and 7s in the backfield, and Rugby have capitalised. What a line that is by Hugh Salveson. Well, it was a decent kickoff from Jordan Stridham. There's just a miscommunication there. And what a line by Salveson. Gets the offload away to Pearce, and well, Rugby the quickest to react, and they'll take the lead as quickly as Cheltenham College established an advantage. Alfie Mitchell right in front of the sticks. Should have no problem putting Rugby further in front. 7-3 then. In the blink of an eye, Rugby are back in front. Well, Cheltenham College will be hoping to replicate a similar set of circumstances that Jordan Stridham crafted out for Rugby on the Grays College fly half. Had a spell out injured, the fly half for Rugby, and his return has coincided with some good form. Well, it's a great take by Gaffan, the captain. Once again, it's Stridham found in the backfield. This time he goes aerial, high into the sky. Tannett's there, spilled by Cooper, hacked forward by Brown. And the referee's given a knock-on for Cheltenham College, and, well, Barney Cooper has perhaps gotten away with one there. Once again, just hung up into this overcast sky. Hard to pick out in the fog. A knock-on's been given. Jack Brown was convinced it came off his foot, perhaps dislodged in the contact. Regardless, Cheltenham College have a chance to strike off the set piece just inside their own half. Great pressure at the scrum. It's Hugh Salveson getting a real shove on there. Taking on Zach Hickman. Well, there's still plenty of rugby to play, of course. The Barbarians, the side formed of rugby players from up and down the country, are here on December 9th to take on Rugby School. And a real celebration of the season so far. Well, it was a poor feed from Cheltenham College, and James Camvin has been penalised there for boring in, I believe, on Ethan Jones, the Gloucester front row. And Unsworth will put Cheltenham College back into rugby's half. The cheer goes up as a young lad in the crowd took that kick off cleanly. Perhaps he should get a run at fullback for Cheltenham College in the near future. The best opportunity of the game, really. Tweedy with the throw, searching for Fanalua. Not straight is the call. Or in fact, well, it's an even more difficult call for Cheltenham College to take. Just an extra man in the line out, a simple free kick to give away, and Gaffan put the kick through, and he's absolutely melted Ben Richards, and rugby turn it over. A real captain's intervention there by Robert Gaffan. And suddenly, rugby are on the offensive. Stridham looks to chip it over the top, but it's been charged down and hacked through. Once again, boot to ball. Stridham back to collect. And he'll take on the backfield himself. What a tap tackle that is on the far side. Well, despite the cold weather, things are really starting to hot up here at Rugby School. Pretty outrageous from Robert Gaffan, the captain, to hack it through. But what a follow-up. Letting Ben Richards know he's there, turning it over. And then in a flash, Cheltenham College hacking the ball through, and Jordan Stridham inches away from breaking down the left-hand side. Instead, tackled into touch. And Cheltenham College with another line out. This time it's not straight, and another missed opportunity for Cheltenham College. Scrum then for rugby, still under a bit of pressure, just inside their 22. Rugby do lead though by the solitary Rufus Pearce try. Finish from 5 yards, all the work done by Hugh Salveson. The 6th member of his extended family to attend Rugby School, and tearing up on their main pitch here on their bicentenary year. Well, this time pressure on from Cheltenham College, and they've borne fruit. It's a penalty. It's the second time that Camvin has been penalised for boring in, and this time he won't escape with a free kick. It will be a penalty instead. And Tom Unsworth will chip into the corner. Unsworth moving from 12, now in his final year at Cheltenham College. To take control from fly half. But it's another opportunity instead for Finn Tweedy. His line-outs haven't gone to plan so far. But there's plenty of time left in this first half for him to turn things around. A line-out on the 5. No better opportunity. And it's been taken by Hansen, but it's a penalty the other way, and crossing is the call, and rugby have denied Cheltenham College once again. Well, that's a character of the game so far. Jordan Stridham to clear. Great distance as well on that kick, and Rugby are out of jail for the moment at least. What a kick that is as well. Under serious pressure. Rugby escape, and Stridham's hooked them all the way up to the 10-metre. Well, things still aren't really clicking for either side here. The solitary try, a capitalised mistake by Hugh Salveson, offloading to Pearce, and that's really the only thing that splits these two sides. Kekianato goes up and the maul is formed once again, and Gaffan has ball in hand. And he'll pick from the back as well, and he'll look to take on Cheltenham College, and over the gain line goes the England international. Through the forwards once again. Great defence from Cheltenham College to keep Rugby on the gain line, and Stridham will look to hang it high, and once again Cooper is called upon. And it's been spilled, but a great covering tackle in the end from Unsworth to disrupt. Well, Jordan Stridham has perhaps sussed out this back line, and once again went as high as he could with the clearance, and there's a whole lot of pressure at the moment being piled on Cheltenham College. Once again, lucky to escape perhaps. Just spilled in the tackle. So Cheltenham College have a scrum in which they are certainly in charge of at the moment. A great contest at the set piece, really. Rugby in control of the line out, but TJ Fanalua picks from the scrum and makes great distance. Connor down the blind side. Little show and go from Hansen. A great tackle, this time from Bird. Unsworth goes short. Great line picked off once again by Cheltenham. Quick ball. And chipped forward by Daunter. A very difficult ball to take, and well, Tannett attempting to help out Alfie Mitchell has instead flicked the ball into his chest, and a knock on is the call, and scrum, the cleanest set piece on show for Cheltenham College, in their favour is the call. Teasing kick from Ed Daunter. The only name on the score sheet for Cheltenham College so far, that early penalty. Their only grip on this game. But once again, they have set-piece opportunity in Rugby's territory. A miscommunication has led to this opportunity, just as it did lead to Rugby's first try. It spits out for Connor, and Unsworth at first. Receiver looks to take on Rugby himself. Great tackle by Brown. Fanalua. Up to the 22. Hickman. Stopped on the gain line by Rugby. The ball goes loose. And it's been knocked on and hacked clear. And suddenly there's a race on in the backfield. The white shirts come flooding forward. Well, it's excellent work from Richards. And back come Cheltenham College, who have been repelled once again. Hansen. Turned over at the breakdown, but not legally. Just some hands on the floor there. Well, not rolling away, in fact, by Adam Viriani's best efforts on the ground, and well, that's a kick that won't end up on the highlight reel of Tom Unsworth. Well, these are two sides that have had impressive seasons realistically. Rugby took Bromsgrove very close, Warwick by a point. They've beaten the likes of Marlborough and Uppingham and Oundle. Cheltenham College also beat Marlborough by a very similar scoreline. Millfield, of course, the standout victory for them. Sherborne as well. Abingdon defeated this season, and yet here today, neither side are really getting things going. Kekianato clearing out. Connor, but it's been turned over once again. Well, it was a clever little trick play, attempting to get over the gain line, but Gaffan's tapped quickly. Kekianato this time holds on, and Gaffan back to his feet to ruck over. What a game the hooker is having. There's a loose ball, well gathered by Kayada. And Rugby just need to settle down and carve out an attack here. Lovely line by Bird. Stridham, a big physical presence at fly half, in to clear out, and once again Rugby over the gain line. Hansen searching for the turnover. Kayada. Canvin, great offload, dragged down by Unsworth. Gaffan once again puts boot to ball, but it's been hacked away by Cooper. Almost regathered by Connor. Eventually loose. A couple of knock-ons there. The first by Cheltenham College, and well, once again the game threatened to come alive there, but still a little bit nervous from both sides. It will be a rugby scrum. Great lines are running in that period of play. That's more like the rugby side that we know and love here at Next Gen. Ethan Jones having an industrial day in the front row so far. Will look to cause a turnover once more. Tebbett with the feed, and there's pressure on him from his opposite number, and well, what a turnover that is. Ben Connor has won the penalty. Well, Connor's down as well, so we could see a change here. Great work from the scrum half to cause the turnover. We could see a change in the offing. Only one substitute was named by Cheltenham College originally. That was Fred Barter, who has started last minute in the back row. We'll have another look at the score, and it was a characteristic score given the well, the style of game that we are enjoying. One for the purists this afternoon. A bit of an exhibition from Stridham with the boot. Just a mix-up there, so unfortunate, but what a great line of running by Salveson, and flooding through comes Rufus Pearce. Not just Stridham, but Robert Gaffan taking on the responsibility with boot to ball. A couple of times he's hacked it through. That is a great offload from Salveson. A try made out of just industry and hard graft. That was always going to be the difference on a day like this, when things perhaps just aren't functioning as either side would like. Well, it will be a penalty for Cheltenham College when we get back underway. Cheltenham College just assessing the wellness of their scrum half, Ben Connor, who did excellently well to cause this turnover to begin with. Well, the score remains 7-3 in favour of the hosts. Cheltenham College have certainly had the opportunity, but their set piece hasn't functioned as efficiently as they'd have liked. Still plenty more for them to give in this game. Well, after all that, the penalty has in fact gone to Rugby School. A high tackle by Ben Connor himself, and all of a sudden Rugby have an excellent opportunity here. Their line out, and Maul has been a real pleasure to watch so far. Run, of course, by Gaffan, the England under-18. Last-minute change of plans from Kekianato and Bird. And up goes Pietro Kekianato, and instead Tebbett will play quickly. Great line speed from Cheltenham College, but Stridham got it away to Viriani. A touch behind the gain line, but well gathered by Gaffan, weaving and winding his way through the tackles. And Cheltenham College had hands on in the breakdown, but nothing given, and an excellent line of running. Rugby suddenly with a bit of momentum, but the ball spits out loose. Gathered by Kent, and suddenly Hansen hands it off to Unsworth, and Cheltenham College will clear. Well, it's been taken really well. Great work from Marcus Law, the first time we've seen him with ball in hand. Turned over at the breakdown though, and Cheltenham College come away with it. You can barely see through the fog as it continues to descend. Hansen with a strong carry. Hickman at first receiver, but instead it's left to Critchley, driving over the gain line. And this time they go to Unsworth, who will hang it up once more, Stridham style, as we've seen all game. Great little turn from Mitchell, and here's Tannett now with a little bit of green grass. There's the fend. Great tackle by Tweedy. But it's a penalty, a high tackle is the call. And Pearce wastes no time getting us back underway, looking to inject a bit of impetus into the game. Gaffan at first receiver, put down. And all of a sudden, the attack brought to an end. Well, you know, it's one of those days when the best player on the field so far, perhaps Robert Gaffan, is putting them down at first receiver. Cheltenham College have another player down. This time it's Josh Hansen, the second row, who himself is having a strong game. Just receiving a little bit of attention before we'll get the game back underway with a scrum just inside Cheltenham College's own half. Well, it's a real slog out there at the moment, both sides trading blows through the forwards, and just before they were able to make that final, perhaps incisive move into the wide channels, there's an unforced error. For two quality teams, with plenty more to come. Cheltenham College just having a little meeting, perhaps, to discuss how they can turn things around here. Still very much in the game, they trail by just 4. Following Rufus Pearce's try. Well, Hansen back to his feet. Huddling for warmth or huddling for direction. It is bitterly cold here at Rugby School. A decent turnout, however, by the home side. Plenty of supporters here today, despite the conditions. Hansen back in the game, and a cheer goes up from Rugby as they perhaps just look to raise the energy levels once more. There was a hint of attacking threats from their previous attack before the ball went down, of course. Cheltenham College with a scrum. The fog just resting on the old Pigside turf here. Ben Connor with the feed. This time Rugby get the shove on, but it comes the way of the red and black. It's a Loose ball at first receiver, and it's been knocked on as well by Daunter. Well, on the best of days, that would have been a difficult pass to take. But with the Brucey ball, Daunter's put it down, and Cheltenham College have let rugby in the door once again, perhaps. With scrum possession deep inside their own half. Once again, Hansen is having to leave the field. And that will delay us further. Well, there have been a host of stoppages in this first half. Perhaps the stop-start nature of the game is what's prohibiting these sides from firing on all cylinders. Scrum then for rugby. Tebbett with the feed, but picked at the base by McLean as they look to set the attack. Well, it will be Kekianato picking from the base, driving past the gain line. Great leg drive from the second row through the forwards. Again, instead they skip it out to Kayada, who spins out of the tackle, but Hansen keeps hold. Good clear out from rugby. Tebbett in possession. Canvin stopped on the gain line. Great tackle. And rugby at the moment being contained well by Cheltenham College. Viriani. Well, it's another loose pass. Gathered well by Pearce, who skips away from one. Gaffan and Kekianato there in support. Bird. Once again, the ball is loose, and this time it will be hacked through by Daunter. Now, rugby are putting themselves under a whole host of pressure. But they've escaped due to the referee's whistle. Half-time is called. The half ended as the game has gone, with a loose passes and opportunistic knock through from Cheltenham to carve out a good bit of field possession. But instead, the referee's whistle blow, and we will break here at the half with rugby in the lead by 7 points to 3. A game for the purists, as we've said, perhaps, with some excellent territorial kicking and hard running from the forwards. An industrial game that will perhaps be decided in this second half by what these two packs have left to offer. At the break here at Rugby School, 7-3, the hosts lead against Cheltenham College. Well, we've talked previously about the history of this game. It was the three Acton brothers who moved from Rugby School to Cheltenham College all the way back in 1844, just 21 years after the game of rugby was first brought about. The three brothers from Schoolhouse introduced the game and organised the first fixture between the two schools, Thomas William and Charles Ball Acton. There is such history here at Rugby School. Hailing from Ireland, originally the Acton family, as so many great players have done. Well, in the most contemporary of events, Cheltenham College and Rugby School have plenty more to give in terms of quality in this second half. One might question the criticism of the two sides, given the conditions, but across the course of the season we've seen Rugby and Cheltenham College offer up some truly special moments. We'll see if they can conjure something up here in the second half to perhaps warm the hearts of some of the rather chilly spectators here in the Midlands, in the town of Rugby, at the school which lends its name to this great game. Well, it will be Jordan Stridham to get us underway. A real opportunity for Rugby, given their first try came from a restart just like this. You imagine the South African will hang it high into the fog, as he's been doing all afternoon. Rugby get us underway. This time the ball just spits unkindly off the boot, and Critchley will carry forward. It's a great carry as well. Eventually brought down by Salveson. McLean hunting forward at the breakdown. Unsworth will clear. Striding himself underneath it. It's a good take, and Jordan comes away with it. What a gather that is by Bird with one hand. Gets the offload away. Marcus Law in contact for the first time in this half. Canvin, little show and go, but held up by Tweedy and Fanalua. Stridham this time finds the height that he was looking for, and the ball drops loose, and it's been gathered by Rugby and gathered by Gaffan, driving up once more over the gain line. The ball fails to find a white shirt, regathered by Law. Fanalua all over the Rugby winger. Stridham once again searching for space in the backfield, and it's an excellent kick through to relieve some pressure on Rugby. The delivery at first receiver just not as accurate as it needs to be if you wish to string together any form of attacking phases, especially in conditions like this of the fog and the perennially wet ball that cannot be dried despite the best efforts of Finn Tweedy. Line out for Cheltenham College, just outside their 22, under a bit of pressure, led by Hansen. And Josh Hansen takes it as well. Clean ball at the line out, something Cheltenham College had to do without in that first 35 minutes. It's a good clearance as well. Fumbled by Mitchell, but carried cleanly, and there's a great tackle as well from Charlie Hatton. And Rugby come back into position, picked off the toes by Stridham, and it's a beautiful pass to Tannett as well. There's the offload. Great hands from Brown. Salveson carries forward once again, but it's been spilled. And suddenly Tweedy is crashing it up for Cheltenham College. Well, there's a bit of an altercation taking place on the far side of the field. Great work from Tannett, from Hatton, sorry, in the kick chase, but did something to upset the Leicester Tigers' second row Sam Bird. We'll have a bit of a stoppage all of a sudden. Well, just as quickly as it began, both sides are keen to get on with the game. Fanalua and Gaffan on the naughty step at the moment. Well, it's all a part of the game. Even at this level, things can sometimes boil over. The referee has control of things, and we will get underway, you'd imagine, with some possession for Cheltenham College. Gaffan and Fanalua will take back control of their sides, and we'll start with the knock-on advantage that Cheltenham College had. Much like the flash-in-the-pan handbags that we saw a moment ago, the game has followed a similar path. Just when you think things are about to light up here, another stoppage in play. An unforced error pulls us back in to the rigid stalemate we have at the moment. Rugby just edging 4 points in front. But the game really is on a knife edge and could go either way. Perhaps Rugby School looked the closest to unlocking that fluidity that has defined their attacking play so far this season. But it's Cheltenham College possession, just inside halfway. Good scrum for Cheltenham College, but the ball is loose at the back. Great work from Connor to get it away. Unsworth under a whole world of pressure from Rugby. Through the forwards they'll go this time. Kent over the gain line with a good carry. Hansen accelerates onto the pass, and suddenly a bit of momentum for Cheltenham College. Great tackle by Gaffan. Everywhere today for the home side. Fanalua puts one man down and gets the offload away, and the momentum halted as the ball's been stripped. Well, some real graft from Oscar Tabbett to turn that ball over. Excellent work from the number 9, back after his long injury. We'll just have another break in play as Ed Critchley currently on the deck. And the conditions are not letting up here. It remains bitterly cold, and the fog has ceased to permeate this fine field here at the close. And the Rugby players doing what they can, the back line at least, to keep warm under such conditions. Running a couple of strike plays while we wait for things to get back underway. We'll hopefully see a few more of those in the remaining minutes of this second half that Rugby lead by just 4 points. An opportunistic score by Rufus Pearce following Salvessen's take off Jordan Stridham's kickoff is all that separates the two sides. Well, it was Oscar Tebbett's hard graft that won Rugby back possession, and he will feed the scrum once more. It's gone either way, really, so far, but this time Cheltenham College get the shove on, but Kayada, and it's out the back to Tannet. There's the offload for Stridham, and the strike play has worked a treat. Away goes Jordan Stridham, herring into the corner. Well, that's one to really please the coaching staff at Rugby School. Takes real confidence to practice a strike play directly in front of your opposition and then to execute it and score. That is more like the Rugby School that we've seen all season long. Kayada with a beautifully timed offload to Tannet, who broke the line, and Stridham with a plethora of supporting options took it on himself, and the fly half has scored. And Rugby can sit a little more comfortably now. 14-7, 14-3 ahead if Mitchell can convert from far out on this near side. Mitchell, who's played across the back three and at fly half with an excellent conversion. And that's got the crowd back and engaged into this fixture. It's a really excellent kick, and Rugby double their advantage. 14-3 they now lead. And Cheltenham College, is that perhaps the wake-up call they needed? Coasting a touch so far in this game, although they've defended well. Unsworth, an excellent kick. Up goes Bird. The ball is loose, and well, there was a Cheltenham College hand in there, so it will be scrum advantage for Rugby. Stryden sticks to the plan and hooks it high into the fog, and there's another miscommunication in the backfield, and Hugh Salveson, of all people, the loose head, once again profiting from it. Canvin hands it off to Stryden. Beautiful pass to Mitchell. Well, there's plenty of players in support. Lovely offload from Rufus Pearce. Rugby really doing all they can to keep the ball alive, but then Tebbett is dragged into touch by Hitchcock Smith. Well, the attacking spirit certainly flowing through the white shirts in the latter stages of this game. But the line-out will go the way of Cheltenham College. A tough ask, really, for young Oscar Tebbett to stay in field with three Cheltenham College players dragging him away, and there's a late tackle by Keki Inato. Connor finds willing runners at first receiver. Good carry by Kent. But the no-arms tackle, in fact, it was on Ben Connor as he flung the ball away. Will give Cheltenham College the outlet they desired. Unsworth fires Cheltenham College up to halfway, and they'll have a line out to play with. Zach Hickman at the plug position, so you'd think a maul was in the offing. Instead, it's Hickman who will carry at first receiver. Gaffan clings onto him. And suddenly, Cheltenham College are on the attack. Fanalua comes herring through. Connor, Unsworth, breaking the contact, searching for the offload, but instead the ball goes to ground, and once again, Rugby turn it over. Viriani. Canvin over in support. Through the breakdown goes Gaffan and gets the offload away. A great grab by Canvin. Stridham. Offload to Pearce. Suddenly Rugby are flying. Over goes Fanalua, who's off his feet. So Tebbett. Gaffan. A great tackle. Stryden will go to the skies. There's plenty of players there across field. But it's a penalty for offside. Well, it's unfortunate there. Bird with real hard work to get up and put pressure on that Cheltenham College backfield, but it's a penalty instead, and Unsworth will find touch on the far side. Line out then for Cheltenham College. Unsworth finds touch comfortably enough, and we'll get the game back underway. Another line out for Tweedy, who's been much more consistent in the second half. Just what Cheltenham College needed. They trail by 14 points to 3. Hansen to run the line out once more. Well, it's been spilled, but only backwards. Canvin flying onto the scrum half, Connor. And a slight knock-on. First by Cheltenham College and then by Rugby. So Rugby will have the feed at the scrum. A profitable venture for them, a good defensive set. Disrupting the line-out possession. Well, it was a well-executed move off the scrum that allowed Jordan Stridham to tumble over in the corner. We'll see what magic they can create from this set piece. Once again, it's a good shove from Cheltenham College, but Stridham has it. It's been spilled at first receiver and hacked through by Cheltenham College. The ball is loose, eventually gathered by Mitchell, who will clear his lines. Heart and mouth moment for Rugby. Jordan Stridham was winding up the long ball and it just went loose instead. Hacked through by Cheltenham, and well, they've made great meters and they've regathered possession, and we're back where we started just a few moments ago with a line out of the red and black of Cheltenham College, who are in desperate need of some possession in Rugby's half. It goes short this time, no need for a jump as Jones feeds it off, and once again it's the same trick play in midfield as they look to break over the gain line, but it's been turned over at the breakdown. There were 3 Cheltenham College players there, but they weren't able to stop Jack Brown from winning back possession, and Cooper will eventually regather. They'll carry into Pearce and Law. And once again, the ball is loose at the breakdown. It's Hansen dropping upon it. Cheltenham College from a line out on the 22, all of a sudden working their way out of their own 10 metre. But playing with penalty advantage. And Unsworth will look to put Cheltenham College back where they feel they belong, deep in Rugby's half. Touch found just short of that target. Well, no one on the field today fancies holding on to possession for more than a couple of phases. Perhaps Cheltenham College can work their way up the field from this set piece. Tweedy to pick out the likes of Fanalua and Hansen. Well, it's a free kick. The double pump from the hooker. And the set piece once again misfiring for Cheltenham College. And Gaffan calls a scrum. Well, we're in a similar position to where the second try was scored, on the reverse side of the field. What can Rugby create? Cheltenham College have applied the pressure at scrum time, but so far unable to enact a turnover in this second half. But the ball goes in and the front row fall to their knees, so we'll have a reset. Well, if Rugby score here, they must really fancy their chances in this game. They currently lead by 11 points, 2 tries, unanswered except for one. They're dawned to penalty in the early stages of the game. Kayada at first, receiver, hard line, over the gain line. But Cheltenham College looking to enact the turnover. Cleared out and in goes Viriani. Gaffan, Kayada, Kekianato. A forward pass into touch. And the scrum for Cheltenham College. Well, that set play perhaps not going to hand. 2 changes for Rugby. Matt Brown on for Hugh Salveson, who's had an excellent game, and Jack Drew coming on for Marcus Law on the wing. Build for Cheltenham College. And this time Matt Brown gets the shove on. Unsworth with great footwork to beat 2 defenders. Put down by Kekianato. Connor through the forwards once again. Hickman over the gain line. Slow ball, and Unsworth will hang it up once again. And to the open side, Rugby will go. Stridham with a short kick over the top. But all he can pick out is a red and black shirt. Great meters made in the end by Cheltenham College. Banalua brought down by Brown and Canvin. The front row working in tandem. Unsworth out the back this time. Daunter. Hitchcock-Smith with a great run. Hands off the ball, and it's been spilt. Well, knocked on in that wide channel once again, and that brings an end to a threatening Cheltenham College attack. Sniping at the breakdown once again is Tevitt. Slow ball for Rugby to contend with. Back to Stridham, who's under a bit of pressure. But led off the hook by an offside. Cheltenham College just too keen to rectify their mistakes, and Rugby escape unfazed once again. Stridham picked up his head and saw nothing but red and black shirts. But in the end, under significantly less pressure from the penalty, finds halfway. Line out then for Gaffan, who's put in exactly the kind of performance you'd expect from an England international at this level. Up goes Kekianato onto the toes of Tebbert, and it's been knocked forward there as time ticks away in this game. Cheltenham College in desperate need of a score. And they'll have yet another opportunity from the set piece. And we saw Matt Brown's first intervention in this game. It was at scrum time. Piled on the pressure on Hickman. We'll see how he fares. Cheltenham College with the scrum. Once again, Connor with the feed. Unsworth poised at first receiver. Well, there was a substitution at half-time in the fog here at Rugby School, unable to see. They kept the same number. Selby is on at scrum half and has had a good half so far. Deserves his recognition as of such. So Selby with the feed for Cheltenham College. Great scrum once again. It's Brown doing damage, but Unsworth has it in his possession, and it's round the corner. Daunter with a strong carry, driven back by white shirts. Turned over the breakdown, but not legally so. Hands on the floor is the referee from the call, and Unsworth wastes no time in getting us back underway. Great offload too to Hickman and carried forward by Hitchcock-Smith. Another strong carry over the gain line, this time from Ben Tweedy. Good line speed from Rugby. But Barter, a last-minute change to this starting team. Vanalua gets the offload in. White shirts creeping all over the breakdown. Unsworth, great line to find Ethan Jones, the Gloucester loosehead. Unsworth again running things in the backfield. Hitchcock-Smith with a bit of green space in front of him. Cheltenham College building something here. Hickman over the gain line once again. Unsworth takes it to the line himself. Selby. Hansen goes on the inside of Bird. Rugby are over the ball, but once again it's another penalty at the breakdown, and Cheltenham College with their best attacking play of the second half really starting to build some momentum. Oh, time off as the two sides recuperate. A key phase of the game for Rugby. There's about 10 minutes to go here as the light begins to dim and the fog continues to descend. Unsworth taps quickly, hoping to take Rugby unaware, but not to the referee's liking. And Tom Unsworth of Gloucester instead will search for the corner and does find it. Well, if Cheltenham College can get this line out functioning, we could have a game on here. So far, Rugby have repelled them at every opportunity. Line out, Cheltenham College. 10 metres shy of Rugby's line, and once again it's been spilled. And it's a desperately disappointing end to Cheltenham College's most recent attacking flurry. And it will be a scrum for Rugby, a scrum that they've really turned on its head with the introduction of Matt Brown. You'd imagine Jordan Stryden will be putting everything he has behind this clearance. We've seen Rugby attempt to run it out from here before this season. Given the circumstances, that would be a certainly an entertaining option. Scrum for Rugby, as stable as you like. McLean with the pick. Down the short side, the ball is spilt. Tannett looks to hack it away. There's a thundering tackle in that wide channel by Brown, but well, the exit play has not gone to plan at all, and Cheltenham College, with a bit of good fortune here, have a scrum. A far more stable set piece for them to look to strike from. Let's see what Unsworth has up his sleeve here. Or perhaps it will be the imperious captain TJ Fanalua, pick from the base. Selby with the feed. Cheltenham College in desperate need of something from this visit to the 22. And it's a penalty at scrum time. Rugby went straight to ground. Cheltenham College, well, it is a big decision here. What to do? The line out just isn't functioning. Perhaps a little tap play, the oldest play in the book and the oldest schoolboy rugby fixture to have ever been played. Instead, Unsworth believes in his forwards, chips it into the corner. If Cheltenham College fail to score from this position, be incredibly difficult for them to turn this game around. But a great opportunity. To the front they go. Clean, safe ball, and the maul is rolling. And Cheltenham College are driving towards the line. And surely now they must have breached Rugby's line, and they have. Finn Tweedy, for all of his hard work this afternoon, has touched down for the visiting side, and Cheltenham College suddenly are back in the game, and the deficit has been cut significantly. Simple but well executed from Cheltenham College, and the game is most certainly not over yet. 14-8 the current score, with conversion still to come. Ed Reed Daunter from all the way out on the far side. One questions if he can even see the post in this weather. A beautiful clock tower, Rugby Chapel, concealed behind the posts. Well, it's a great effort from Daunter. A good strike. He had the distance but not the direction. And the score will remain 14-8. But a converted try is now all that separates the two sides. One more score for Cheltenham College and they would be out in front for the first time in, well, almost 50 minutes of rugby. Strydom then looking for another competable kickoff, and it is high and just creeps over the 10, and up goes Matt Brown to claim it, and Brown is off and running. What a response this is from Rugby. Tebbett, McLean with a strong carry. Strydom, great line by Pearce. Back down the left-hand side they go. Gaffan taking on all comers. Tebbett, Kayada, Brown skips through one. Selby brings him down. Kayada, there's numbers here, but it's been put down. Well, all of a sudden, white shirts were flooding down this left-hand side. There were 2 or 3 in support of Rufus Pearce, but Kayada, vice-captain to vice-captain, the ball is put down and Cheltenham College escape. Under 4 minutes to go, according to our clock here at Rugby School. 9 minutes on the live ticker we have here at NextGen, but we'll see which clock the referee favours. Cheltenham College and Selby with the feed. Spits out the wrong side if you're in red and black, but the referee pulls it back. Cheltenham College certainly not out of the woods yet. And a turnover here would be devastating. There's a thrilling fixture on the second pitch as well, where Rugby have just scored against Cheltenham College's second team. But it's tense here on Old Big Side. Selby with the feed. Cheltenham College in need of an exit. Fanalua will pick and finds an offload for Daunter. Where did Cheltenham College go from here? Fanalua with another offload in contact and over to support. Unsworth will look to take on Kayada and put down by a white shirt on the 22. Alan Viriani looking to disrupt. Once again, Fanalua with a great offload. This time it's been put down, but backwards says the referee, and suddenly there's a little bit of space on this near side for Cheltenham College. Bit of momentum perhaps for the red and black, who are desperately in need of a score to turn this game around. Jones, excellent offload to Unsworth, who just slips on the turf. Daunter with a lovely ball out wide. Cooper cutting back against the grain. And Cheltenham College driven up to the 10 metre. Fanalua offload. There's plenty of white shirts swarming Fred Barter. Selby, Unsworth, kick through, but Tebbett gathers well. But Cheltenham College in the breakdown, hunting for a turnover. Here comes Rugby's way, and they have possession back once again. Cheltenham College at the breakdown, looking to disrupt. Well, the whistle goes. Which way will the arm be hoisted by the referee? Well, there's a conversation to be had with TJ Fanalua and Gathan, the captain of Rugby. Not long to go here at all. Cheltenham College with a good attacking set drove their way all the way up from deep inside their 22. Up to halfway before the referee called a stoppage to the game. But we will restart with a scrum to Rugby. All Rugby really need to do here is run down the phases. Not long to go, under 5 minutes. Cheltenham College trail by 6 points. A great score from Stridham in this second half before Cheltenham College from the maul got themselves back in the game, and what looked like a impressive scrum for Cheltenham College, of course, has resulted in a free kick past the 1.5 metre mark, and Gaffan running it straight and hard. Penalty for Cheltenham College, sealing off at the breakdown. Rugby players went right off their feet. A lifeline then for the red and black. Unsworth will look for touch and finds it. And this could be the very last opportunity for the visiting side to record a famous victory here in what's been a incredibly tense, hotly contested affair. Rugby the victors in this fixture last season by 29-17. Once again, the line-out has not functioned for Cheltenham College, and there's a bit of afters here as well. It's been threatening to boil over for a large portion of this game, and with very little time remaining. Believer will start with a scrum to the host, but in the fog and the mist, almost unsighted here from our commentary booth on the far side. Once again, Fanalua and Gaffan in conversation with the referee. Penalty Cheltenham College is the final result. And they've won the referee's favour here. An excellent kick. And what a turnaround this would be. Cheltenham College with moments to go, with a line out deep inside Rugby's 22. It was a maul in a similar position that led to their opening score, following a penalty in the very early stage of this first half by Ed Reed-Daunter. What an opportunity for Cheltenham College. No win in 2 years for them here at Rugby School, but the maul has been formed and there's some great momentum behind it as well. Well, rumbling on go Cheltenham College. It's down.
Yeah, they can't.
Well, the maul went down. It was a penalty against Rugby School. I believe a yellow card as well for the young Northampton Saints number 8, Edward McLean. Well, overcome the second team of rugby to cheer on the home side. They'll have another line out. They are in need of 7 points to turn this game around. The try alone will not do it. Unsworth finds the corner. No cracking under pressure for the Gloucester fly half. And in the midst of the fog, right on the far side, Finn Tweedy, the try scorer for Cheltenham College, has a line out to turn the tide of this game and put Cheltenham College back in front for the first time in 65 minutes of rugby. Well, it's a low jump, but the maul has been formed. Cheltenham College driving towards the line, edging ever closer. Halted just short, but still with possession. Down it goes. Held up. Rugby have denied them. And in the very final play of the game, Rugby School have taken this tempered affair away from the visitors. Well, in a game that at times lacked the fluidity and ferocious attacking play that has come to define this rugby team, it's had a thrilling ending here. Held up at the very last, and Rugby School escape with the victory. They've beaten a talented Cheltenham College side by the tightest of margins. 14-8 the final score, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Cheltenham College inches and inches away from taking the game away from the home side at the very last. But in foggy and frosty conditions, Rugby School have won a well-fought victory. Well, we'll run you through the highlights of this game. It was a first half that lacked creativity, but this opportunistic score from Rugby began it all. Just a mix-up between Finn Tweedy and Cheltenham College's second row Luke Kent allowed Hugh Salveson to fly through, and a great offload as well to put Rufus Pearce under the posts. In the second half as well, it was a strike play from Rugby that got them further out in front. Great offload from Tannett, and Stridham did the rest. An excellent finish from the South African fly half, who managed the game excellently well. What a take that is as well, from behind his right shoulder. But Cheltenham College fought hard to get themselves back into the game. They had a number of visits to Rugby's 22 and came away with nothing, but this time Finn Tweedy made up for his earlier mistake and finished off a great maul, controlled excellently well by the hooker. But this game will be remembered for that valiant final effort from Rugby in front of their second team and their home support, holding up Cheltenham College over the line to end the game 14-8. Well, in the penultimate game of our half-season long coverage of Rugby School in this final month of the Bicentenary celebration of the sport that was created on this field, Rugby have beaten Cheltenham College and racked up their fourth win of what's been a tremendously difficult series. a difficult season with some of the biggest names in schoolboy rugby coming down to the close to compete at the home of the sport itself. Well, thank you very much for joining us here live with Next Gen at Rugby School in a historic game of rugby, the oldest game in the schoolboy calendar, the first inter-school game between Cheltenham College. And in its long and winding history, in its most modern edition, Rugby have beaten Cheltenham College for a third straight year with a hotly contested 14-8 victory decided in the very final play. I've been Wilfred Kemsley. Thank you very much for joining us live with Next Gen. We'll be back here on the 9th of December for two fixtures. The Barbarians against Rugby's first team in both the women's and men's format. That's live on the 9th of December, but here from the close on a frosty mid-afternoon. Rugby College take the victory against Cheltenham by 14-8.